I was home alone one night, just doing what I normally do at 10 p.m. on a weekday, playing Overwatch with my friend Adrian. Everything was going fine, until I heard something coming through the audio from my headset. I took off the headset, got up, and looked around. In confusion, I shrugged it off to my ears playing tricks on me, and went back to the game. However, the moment I grabbed my headset, I heard a knock at the door. I told Adrian I'd be right back, and to make sure I don't die in the game. He gave me a simple, okay, and I made my way to the door. I know most of you aren't aware, but I actually have two doors, on the front and back side of my home, a wooden one and a metal one. I opened the wooden door, and within the darkness, I could make out the shape of someone. A kid, I had thought. Despite the fact I began to feel uneasy, and despite the fact I could not see the kid's face due to the overwhelming darkness, I asked, "Can I help you?" There was a small pause before the child responded, to which they said, "Can you help me?" To which of course I retorted, "How? What happened? Are you okay?" They followed with, "Can I come in?" It was at this point I began to feel something strange. Almost like something was forcing me to say yes. My heart started to beat faster, and faster, and I was left in a state of fear. However, I managed to muster up the courage to say, "No! You can't come in." They stepped into the light on the porch, and I will never forget what I saw. Standing there, at that moment, right in front of me, was a child. But they weren't normal. Their eyes were pure black, and the longer I stared at them, the more I started to get anxious. Then, it demanded, "Let me in!" I shut the door in its face, and ran back to my room, and got back on the headset. I was breathing heavily, and Adrian took notice. He asked me if I was okay, and I said, "No." I told him everything that happened, and he was left in utter shock, evident by the 1 minute of silence there was between us. And after that 1 minute, he said, "I think you just saw one of those black-eyed children." A sentence that would leave me forever mortified. Well, I think now is the perfect time to tell you that that story was fake. I have never encountered a black-eyed child, and Adrian would never be so considerate, nice, or sympathetic. However, that is not to say that no one has ever encountered black-eyed children. There are several reports claiming that people have actually seen these demon-eyed kids in the past, and many people are still reporting on them now. But what are they? Well, glad you asked. Black-eyed children are young people, usually depicted to be between the ages of 3 to 16, with eyes that are pitch black. Their eyes are complete solid black, with no distinction between the sclera, pupil, or iris of the eye. Moreover, they reportedly have blue-tinted or pale white skin, essentially resembling that of a corpse. As for people who encountered the black-eyed children, they felt as if the children were somehow supernatural in nature, and extremely dangerous, although no one who has described them this way could explain why. Most sightings regarding the black-eyed children are near abandoned or deserted areas, schools, playgrounds, or even one's own doorstep. When spotted, they are apparently heard singing the nursery songs, "Old Man Longlegs," or "He Jumped into a Bramble Bush." They usually appear to people who are alone, and will appear in a pair, or by their lonesome. Almost contradictory, they are reported to be quite confident, but shy at the same time, often avoiding your gaze and staring at the ground. This may be because they wish to hide their demonic black eyes. In addition, they speak with a high vocabulary, speaking with high fervor, one that is beyond their apparent age. At times, they may even speak and use mannerisms similar to that of an adult. Even freakier, they may sometimes possess the voice of an adult. When they come into contact with a victim, they usually persuade them to let them enter their home, so that they may use their phone to call their parents. They may try to sell you magazines to help with some kind of fundraiser, or simply ask to enter your home to avoid some undisclosed danger. Really, they will do anything that will get you to open your door for them. When they are seen outside, it is a similar story. Often, when they are seen outside, they will be playing around, and when they notice you, they will put a stop to whatever they are doing, and just stare. They will stare at you for a while, and then eventually make their way over to you. They will ask you if you can drive them home, or if you can provide them with a place to stay, all with the same eerie mannerisms mentioned earlier. Most people who encountered the black-eyed children describe their encounter as hypnotizing. Eerily, people will often comply to their request, despite knowing it is not in their best interest. Almost as if they were in some kind of trance, those that came into contact with the black-eyed children would agree to their request, despite their better judgment. This leads many to assume that black-eyed children have some kind of mind control. If you happen to see their charcoal-colored eyes, and they notice, they will begin to get increasingly angry. In addition, once you notice their eyes, they will keep asserting you agree to their demands. Encounters with the children suggest that they must be invited into the car or house of the victim voluntarily, or else they cannot enter. However, if you are not strong-willed, and if you let them in your house/car, then the consequences are nothing short of dire. Should you let them into your residence, it would very likely mean death. Going back to the question posed earlier, what exactly are black-eyed children? Well, there are a few theories that were developed by the masses. The first theory is that they are simply the spirits of lost or murdered children. Another theory regarding the black-eyed children is that they are simply a hoax. It may sound strange to some, considering the number of supposed encounters you can find online, but like the Ouija board, it is definitely possible that it is just a hoax. One way people could hoax this kind of thing is surprisingly simple. Use contacts. Sclera contact lenses cover the entire eye, and black sclera contacts are available for purchase pretty much everywhere online for a surprisingly low cost. Moreover, like the Ouija board, people could just as easily fake their encounters online. The next theory explaining the black-eyed children phenomenon is also similar to that of the theory we discussed in another Urban Legends video, specifically in the Urban Legends This Man video. Similar to the dream imitation theory in that video, this theory suggests that the more people are exposed to the phenomenon, the more they become attentive for it. Paranormal investigator A. Milhorn provides his 2 cents on the matter, essentially claiming that people may falsely perceive these black-eyed children because they practically hotwire their brain to keep a lookout for anything resembling black-eyed children. Despite all the evidence against it, many still believe that black-eyed children are real, and will defend their existence to practically no end. Not to sound like a broken record or anything, but like the Ouija board, one piece of evidence people use to prove the existence of black-eyed children is the overwhelming amount of stories available online. Although, they cease to understand the fact that they may just be that, stories. In the end, black-eyed children are definitely one of the more unsettling urban legends to come out of the late 20th century. If they are real, and if you do manage to see one, I think it would be in your best interest to ignore them, as they are often seen to be harbingers of death and misfortune. Well, with that out of the way, it's time for this video's little factoid. Did you know, the black-eyed children commotion/popularity increased in 2013 when a 2-minute video episode of Weekly Strange featured the black-eyed children on a post in the entertainment section of the MSN website.